procedure done, and you you pay the $1,600 through your HSA account, which is great. But that $400 that you get reimbursed, you cannot use your HSA funds to pay for that $400 and then get reimbursed by Garner for the $400 as well. The IRS considers that double dipping. So that's something I actually just recently found out myself, but I wanted to point that out because I want to make sure you understand that when you are getting reimbursed by Garner, you cannot use the HSA funds for that initial payment, only for the reimbursement portion. You can use your HSA funds to cover that deductible of $1,600. If you're not getting reimbursed by Garner, by all means use your HSA funds, but you can't use HSA funds for the amount that you're going to get reimbursed from Garner. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Let's see, next slide. Yes, thank you. So this slide just kind of shows you how you can create an account with Garner if you haven't already. There's a barcode, a QR code you can scan to download the app. You can also sign up online. The website's listed there. And you can also contact Garner by phone to set up an account. So yeah, so just create your account, download the app, make sure you add your doctors once you are set up in Garner, or you can search for new doctors as well. And then once you met that minimum deductible, you can go ahead and start submitting claims to Garner. Okay, that's it for Garner. The next benefit we're going to talk about is the health savings account, otherwise known as an HSA. So an HSA is a personal savings account you can set up to deposit pre-tax contributions and to help pay for covered healthcare costs. So what are the benefits of having an HSA? There's no federal income tax, so you aren't taxed on the money you put in or the money withdrawn for qualified medical expenses. I think that's probably the biggest benefit that we all can enjoy. There's also no expiration date on the funds. The money rolls over every year. It's not a use it or lose it account. So you keep that money until you use it, and it rolls over every year. The balance rolls over. You can also use it to pay for spouse and or dependents, even if they aren't on the plan. And then the account stays with you even if you change jobs. So this account, you'll have it as long as you need it. There are contribution limits every year. I think it went up a little bit this year. So the 2024 contribution limits are $4,150 for self, and then $8,300 for family. And if you're over 55, you can put an additional $1,000 into your account. You can make changes throughout the year to your contribution through payroll. So it's not like you have to set it at the beginning of the year and then you can't change it during the year. So if you want to change your contribution through payroll throughout the year, you just have to request a form to fill out. You can email hr@mcsteen.com and request that form, and I'll send it to you, and you can change the deduction for your contribution. To be eligible for the HSA, you do have to be enrolled in McSteen's high deductible healthcare plan. It only applies for that plan. And I also want to point out that you cannot be enrolled in Medicare, Medicaid, or TRICARE, and you cannot be claimed as a dependent on someone's tax return. So if any of those apply to you, you're not eligible to contribute to an HSA. Okay. Now, the biggest benefit of the HSA is that McSteen matches up to $23.08 per pay, which equals up to $600 a year that McSteen contributes to that account for you. So if you contribute that and then McSteen matches that, you get up to $1,200 a year into your account with both contributions. So that I think is a wonderful benefit that McSteen offers. And then just a quick note about stopping. We mentioned Medicare. If you're looking to enroll in Medicare, you do have to stop contributions 6 months prior to enrolling in Medicare. So if you do currently have an HSA and you're looking at maybe enrolling in Medicare next January, I recommend stopping that by June. There are tax penalties you might incur if you don't stop that prior to the 6 months of enrolling in Medicare. Any questions on HSA? Okay. Excuse me. So this is something that I think is really cool, and I'm not sure everybody knows about, but it's a great benefit. We partner with McGowan Brabender, who's our broker. They have an advocate team, and this is a service that can assist you with questions or issues related to like your explanation of benefits, your EOBs. If you get your explanation of benefits and you question something on it, you're not sure of something, you think something was charged incorrectly, you can call this advocate, and they will reach out to the provider on your behalf and work with them to just kind of make sure that everything was billed properly. So questions on your explanation of benefits, provider billing questions, coordination of benefits, pre-authorization help, enrollment status. So there's all kinds of things that you can just call them if you have questions, and they'll assist you. For example, if you get the bill from the provider and you think there's an incorrect charge on there, you can call them, and they aren't helping you, contact the NB advocate, explain the situation, and then they can reach out to the provider on your behalf. You can see their contact information is listed here. There's also a QR code to get more information about NB Advocate.
I think what I just want to add to that too, Melissa, is I'm always skeptical of helplines. I just am like, oh, it's more, why am I going to have somebody else, like, when I'm just going to have to explain the situation again. What I think is really cool about NB Advocates is that they do have a whole team, but once you contact them and you're put in communication with a member of their team, that is the person you always go back to. Like, I know some of these questions, they won't always be resolved at with one phone call, but you don't have to re-explain every time. Once you get connected to someone on their team, they're the person that you're paired with until the issue is solved. So it's really great that they've kind of formulated it that way, and they can help, especially with billing problems. Those ones can spiral out of control.
Yes.
And you'll work with one person on their team once you get connected to help solve that issue. I'm just always skeptical of calling helplines, so I like to give that to my other fellow skeptics out there.
Yeah, no, it's always good to hear of other people's experiences, so thank you for sharing that. Okay, moving on from NB Advocate, we're talking about One Digital Personal Financial Planning. This is something that we rolled out in January of this year.
Sorry,
it's a new service. Oh yeah,
can I hop on to answer one question?
Yeah,
so just
sure.
And if anyone else has the question, Kyle just asked, NB Advocate is only available if you are enrolled in McSteen's healthcare plan, and that's correct. It's offered by our broker, who is kind of compensated through our health insurance that we offer through the company. So you do have to be enrolled in our health insurance in order for their team to help you.
Great question, Kyle. Thank you. Okay. One Digital Personal Financial Planning. This service is free for you to use. You should have received an email back in January from them asking you to create an account. Once you log in, there are options to review resources. You can use the platform to create your own personalized financial plan, or you can schedule a time to meet with an advisor. McSteen has our own dedicated advisor. I actually met with them actually probably 2 months ago now. I took advantage pretty quickly just because I have some questions about retirement and whatnot. He listed my questions and concerns. He was very knowledgeable, gave me some great feedback and great information. So he was great to work with. And it is super easy to schedule an appointment. You can do it right from the website. You should also receive monthly invites for live webinars with a different topic every month. This past month, they just had a webinar talking about estate planning. I actually joined that webinar, and there was a lot of information in there that was useful for me, and they just sent a follow-up email with the information, as well as the ability to, you know, if I had questions, to reach out on my own to ask additional questions about that. So that was really cool. So lots of great information there for you, no matter what, you know, phase of your life you're in. One important note I want to kind of mention is that McSteen does not have any access to any of the information you exchange on the website or with an advisor. It's their platform, nothing to do with McSteen. All the information with OneDigital is confidential with OneDigital. So I highly recommend at least logging on and checking it out. Lots of great resources there for any phase of your life, whatever you're doing. A lot of great information. They can answer questions, give you guidance. Great resource. That's again at no cost to you. So highly recommend checking it out. You can scan the QR code there to access or log in to get more information, and the website's listed on the slide as well. Any questions with OneDigital? Okay. All right, great. Moving on to TrueConnect loans. This is something that McSteen has offered. It's been around for a while. Great and quick, easy way to get a personal loan. You simply create an account and you fill out a form to request a loan. Once approved, they issue you the loan and notify us to set up the deduction out of payroll to pay back the loan. So there's really minimal paperwork from you. We take care of the deduction set up for you, so you're not doing a lot of work. It's automatically set up for you. So their information's on there. You can see it's just a few steps to request a loan. Like I said, this has been around for a while, but we haven't probably shared information on it in a while. So it's great to just kind of get a reminder out there for you guys that this is something that, you know, if you're in a quick bind and need a loan to get you through something, that this is an option that's out there for you. Okay. Next, we're going to discuss the Educational Assistance Program through McSteen. McSteen offers an educational benefit of up to $2,500 per calendar year, and up to $5,250 per calendar year for coursework leading to a degree in surveying with the intention of obtaining a license. To qualify for this benefit, you must be employed as a full-time employee for 12 consecutive months. There's several different ways to apply and use the benefits. The cost of courses offered by an accredited institution, related course fees like books, exam and exam prep courses are all eligible for reimbursement, and then continuing education up to the amount to maintain licensure. So this is a great opportunity for you to take advantage if you're just wanting to, you know, expand your knowledge in a certain area of that you want to focus on. A couple things to note for reimbursement: the minimal acceptable grade is a C for undergrad work and a B for graduate work. And then for IRS guidelines, good old IRS, if the educational assistance amount is over the $5,250 per calendar year, it's considered a form of compensation and may be taxed, but anything under that is not taxed per year. And then you might be subject to repayment if the 12-month service requirement is not met. So we do have the service requirement of 12 consecutive months after the reimbursement is issued. And if for some reason, you know, you don't meet that requirement, you may be required to you may be subject to repayment, excuse me. You can find all this information in more detail in the employee handbook. And again, we'll send this slide out as well after. So there's information there as well on how to submit a request. You submit the request by email to Maureen, and then, you know, receive approval from her, of course. And then upon completion, you submit the expense report. There is an educational reimbursement agreement, and then receipts as well as the proof of the grade. So pretty easy to apply and receive reimbursement as well. Any questions on this? Okay. All right, moving right along to MB Perks. This is another program that's provided by our broker, and it just provides you with discounts to places, events, and food, movie theaters, amusement parks. I downloaded the app on my phone, and if I'm somewhere, I can look up to see where I'm going or what I'm doing and see if there is a discount that I can apply. A lot of times you just show the coupon on your phone and you get the discount that way. There's a QR code there you can scan to download the app super quick. Again, no cost to you, but a great way to even look up to see what events are going on around you, but also get discounts to different places and events that you're going to do. Food, movies is a big one, I think. Movies have gotten so expensive. Everything's gotten so expensive. So with all the prices going up, this is a great little perk for you to try to keep that price down a little bit. Yeah, information is there on how to access MB Perks. And I don't really have anything else. I think I touched on everything that I wanted to touch on. Maureen, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Just about MB Perks, since this is also offered by our health insurance broker, you do not need to be enrolled in our health insurance to take advantage of. This is just kind of an extra program. It's part of a larger program. So just the fact that our company is with MB, we have access to this Perks program. You do not personally need to be enrolled in our health insurance through them, I believe.
Yeah, I know, you're right. That's true. That is very true. This is eligible. Anyone is eligible for this. Anyone that works through McSteen is eligible for it.
I never thought of it before, but since the question came up about the advocate team, I was like, oh, that's a good one.
I agree. Okay, that's everything. Anybody have any questions that they wanted to share? Was there anything on here that you forgot about, didn't know we offered?
Molly said she forgot about the MB Perks.
Oh,
see, so we even everybody needs reminders,
right?
I just scanned the QR code, so
good. Okay.
Does anyone have any questions about things not benefits related? Any type of, we're here for, we have the next 5 minutes definitely reserved, but we can stay on longer if there's any questions that come up. But if there's, like I said, when we started, we're always going to bring a topic just that we think is important to highlight, but this is also an opportunity for you guys to ask any questions that you have. It doesn't need to be related to the topic.
We mentioned donation drive. Yeah, we can. Good question, Kat. I don't know if you guys saw the email that went out on Monday. I think I don't know what day it is. Monday. We're doing a fundraiser for the month of April. We're partnering with Project Hope for the Homeless. I know it's tough for those of you that aren't local to the office, but we are collecting donations throughout the month of April. The program is lunch bags, and we put together lunch items, mostly non-perishable items. We're going to collect them throughout the month of April. There are boxes located by the main exit entrance for you to donate. We're also accepting cash, and then we'll use the cash to buy additional food to supply lunches. And then on April 29th, we're asking for volunteers to be in the office and help us put everything together. Right, we're going to pack the lunch bags with all the non-perishable items, and then we'll pack the sandwiches separately, since those are perishable and they have to be stored separately at Project Hope. But so encourage you to get involved either by donating or volunteering the day of helping us put stuff together. We're super excited to help out. We didn't put a goal, but our goal is hopefully to get 30 lunches together for Project Hope. If we can do more, it's wonderful, but our goal is 30. And if you have any questions, the email went out. We'll send some more emails as well as the month goes on. Yeah. Any other questions come up? Comments, thoughts? Did
I
we
did
feel
have
like
it.
this? Oh,
It's
sorry,
in
go
the
ahead.
chat, but uh, when you do have to sign into MB Perks, and there is a little, if your first time, if you haven't signed in or created an account, there's a little register button you should see. It's kind of, there's a lot of colors on the page and it's kind of hidden at the bottom. So once you do that, you should have access to it. But if you have any trouble accessing it, just let us know.
Guys, I was trying to succinctly put this in the chat, but struggling. So hopefully you can hear me okay. But could you guys comment on the HSA as far as being able to use funds retroactively? For example, if you had a medical expense that occurred 2 years ago, but you didn't realize you had the HSA funds to use, that you could still go back and submit for that, if I have that correct. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. So that's the interesting thing about HSAs is you can kind of like, if you don't need the funds currently, you can take advantage of like contributing pre-tax every year. You can just keep putting money into your HSA and kind of like, I'll say stockpiling a little health account. And then if you have any big medical expense that comes up, or if you just need like you can kind of use it as a savings account almost. And as long as you keep your EOBs, your explanation of benefits from your health insurer, which they store it for a certain amount of time, you can also download them and put them in a folder is my recommendation. As long as you have those EOBs and proof that you spent your own money to pay for a medical cost, you can pull that money out of your HSA at any time. It does not need to be, it's kind of like a secret, not a secret, but it's not the most known thing, but it doesn't need to be in the same calendar year or like the same time. The only thing you need to be able to prove is that it was a medical expense that you paid at some point. It could have been last year, it could have been 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. As long as at some point you had that medical expense and you did not take reimbursement at that time, you can withdraw those funds from your HSA to use. So it can really be, almost everyone does have some type of medical expense per year, even if it's just like, you know, buying toothpaste at the drugstore is a covered medical expense. And so if you have those, I'm not saying you need to save all of those receipts, but if you wanted to, you could then use that as like an emergency savings account as well. Molly, is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of point out that it doesn't have to be intra-year, because a lot of times those expenses happen close to the exchange of a calendar year, or sometimes you're not sure of like, oh, do I just have the money that I put in this year? Does it have to be used in the same year? So there's some flexibility in that if you have a big expense that occurs, and or like I mentioned, something that you didn't realize you could get reimbursement for previously. But yes, mostly that it doesn't have to totally be intra-year, in case those expenses are occurring across calendar years.
Yeah. And you don't have to, you know, you do need to save those like EOBs really to prove that. The reason that you would need those is if you ever like got an audit, a tax audit, that's when you would need to provide that information of like, I took this money from my HSA account, because you're doing it pre-tax. You're not having to recognize what you took from your HSA account as income. So that's the scenario. That's why you need to save that paperwork. But yeah, like Molly said, you can do it anywhere. It doesn't need to be the same calendar year. Hopefully I didn't go too far down that rabbit hole.
Let's see.
List of covered HSA expenses. Yeah,
I mean, there's lots
Melissa.
of different avenues. I mean, the IRS website, irs.gov, and you can look up HSA. That's the most accurate list of where you can find qualified expenses. That's the irs.gov website is where I would recommend.
Yeah. Real quick, guys.
That's who cares if you take it tax free or not. So that's your source for what they consider covered.
Yeah.
Amazon has an HSA store as well. You can get to. It's pretty interesting. Everything in there is HSA compliant, so it makes it really easy. And when you have an HSA, you get a debit card.
Yes.
with it, and it makes it very easy. You can put that right in your Amazon account. I've used that many times, and you can just buy things right off their HSA store, and it's all acceptable. So
Very
very
cool.
easy.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Wes asked in the chat, can we still reimburse ourselves even if expenses were 2 years ago? Yes, you can. You just need to make sure you have that bill, keep that bill with your tax paperwork then.
Yeah.
And if it's not a current charge where you can use your debit card, which is the easiest option, if you go onto your Medical Mutual account and then into your savings, your HSA account area, there's a form. Sometimes it's a little difficult to get to. So if you guys have any trouble accessing it, let us know. But there's a form there where you just fill out a form and like you can take money out. It's also pretty simple.
And you can access your explanation of benefits on Medical Mutual's website, medmutual.com. If you don't already have an account, set one up for sure. But the EOBs are right there on the homepage, and you can sort and filter for dates and stuff like that, or people, whoever you're looking for. But the EOBs are online. I know you happen to lose them, you can access them on MedMutual's website pretty easily.
Awesome. Good questions.
All right. I think we're all set. Thank you, everyone. I'm so glad so many people joined. It was so great to see everybody's faces. We hope you found this beneficial. If you think of any questions, after the fact, please feel free to reach out to Marina or myself. I'm happy to help you with anything, any particular questions you have. And like I said, we will share this presentation with you guys later today. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Hopefully it doesn't rain too much.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everyone.